film was brought to you by Peter Jackson and the team at Weta Digital. Weta Digital and Peter Jackson have worked extensively together on such films as the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Hobbit trilogy, Avatar, and of course King Kong. Weta Digital just won its 6th Academy Award for The Jungle Book.
Studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know people are looking straight ahead, they're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot, this tram that's driving along through Skull Island, physically the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, representing what to do with it. It's a hell of a ride.
Peter Jackson used state-of-the-art computer-generated imagery for 2005's King Kong, but he also used state-of-the-art special effects that have been around since the birth of movies, like miniature sets. You can see on your screens how the SS Venture, the ship they went on to visit Skull Island. The SS Venture and Skull Island didn't get much bigger than what you see on your screens. Now that is a nice ship, but you can also travel by car here on the Universal lot. We have some wonderful picture cars over to your left-hand side. Let's check them out. Beginning with the 2008 kit car from the Knight Rider series and the Magnum PI Ferrari. Now looks can be deceiving. That is just the shell of a Ferrari, and it comes with a Volkswagen engine for those speedy miles per hour. We have multiple Back to the Future cars. And get your feet moving with my favorite environmentally friendly cars, the Flintstones. I hear they're making a comeback. And then on to Universal Studios' most successful franchise to date, the Fast and the Furious. As well as a car from Jurassic World. Jurassic World Forbidden Kingdom, coming out June 22nd, 2018. Now, a picture car can be any car on screen in a television show, a music video, commercial, or movie. It could be parked or going supercharged fast. Another very successful Universal franchise took audiences all the way to an island off the coast of Costa Rica.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Thank you, Mr. John Hammond. That is right. We are about to enter Jurassic Park. And you will see on either side of the tram set pieces, props, and picture cars from the Jurassic Park films, including the mobile lab on your left, that dangled precariously on top of a cliff with Julianne Moore, Vince Vaughn, and Jeff Goldblum inside. That was from the second film, directed by Steven Spielberg, Jurassic Park, The Lost World. Now, we do have some dinosaurs here. Don't worry, they are in their cages. Nothing to worry about. Sometimes we have our actors come out and interview the dinosaurs. They're not there. Where'd they go? Oh dear, we're under attack. Take cover, everybody. Oh, clever girl. That was just acid dinosaur spit, everybody. Nothing to worry about. Should wash off before the remainder of the tour. Now, is it me, or do those Jurassic Park films, it always seems to be raining, doesn't it? Lightning, thunder, that big T-Rex print in the mud from the first movie. Well, as we roll into Old Mexico, I'm going to turn on the rain for us. Just want to check in with today's show host, Al Roker.
Hi, everybody. Here's today's forecast for the Universal Backlot. It's going to be sunny and dry in 6 Points, Texas.
Okay.
Cool and cloudy in Williamsburg. Expect snow and sleet on New York Street. And we've got a high chance of precipitation for Skull Island, Amity Island, and
Some
Island.
lightning and thunder.
What's going on? In your name.
Thanks so much, Al. Appreciate it. Flash flood warning. Well, I highly doubt that. It's a clear blue sky. Now, over to your left, here comes the rain. Make it rain. This rain is result of an overhead sprinkler system, which shoots the water straight up into the air and then lets it fall back down to the earth naturally. Here in beautiful, sunny California, we don't get much rain, so in order to have it yourself, that's relaxing. All right, I'll turn that rain off. Just a few clicks of a button, and it's off. Hold on. Off. Cool. And Amanda Bynes.
You can't outrun the wall, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that. Hang on, funny
Lady Gaga also used our flash flood for her music video Judas, with water splashing all around her. Now in her latest album, she sings a song called John Wayne, and John Wayne, the legend, walked these very streets as we have now crossed the border into 6 Points, Texas. And whenever I'm here, I fancy a good old-fashioned Western duel. And here to help me out is my very special co-host, Mr. Jimmy Fallon. Filmed right here in 6 Points, Texas.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. The nice folks in this tram don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal line.
I hear this is where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot you.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff. Lucky shot.
I want to see you mount up and get out of town while we're getting good.
All right. Well, I'll see you again, Fallon.
Well, you can count on it, pal.
Again. This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
We just have to talk it out, that's all.
Thanks so much, Jimmy. I think we'll mosey on out of here, too. Steven Spielberg used our 6 Points, Texas sets for his films Amistad and The Color Purple. Colin Farrell was there in Saving Mr. Banks. It doubled as Australia. And most recently, Ben Affleck was acting in Live by Night, which he also directed. Now we're about approximately at the halfway mark of our tour, so I just want to remind everybody that if you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, please pull the red cord to get my attention and I'll be back to assist you, but do remain seated on the tram. Now, I can take you pretty much anywhere in the world here on the Universal back lot. I mean, 6 Points, Texas was just Australia, but now I'm going to take you to the streets of Spain. Or France. Want to go to France? You know what? Let's go to Genovia, like in Princess Diaries 2, a royal engagement. Princess Mia walked down these cobblestone streets on her coronation day of Queen of Genovia. These cobblestone streets are currently set up for The Good Place, as in the afterlife. Stars Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. Lots of yogurt shops, chocolate shops. Take a look around and see if you can recognize The Good Place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Okay, well, maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
I may have noticed some flashing lights. Makes this area a bit more spookier, but for good reason, because this is where the monster movies were born back in the 1930s with Dracula, played by Bela Lugosi. Boris Karloff played Frankenstein. They got their first Hollywood start right here out in Little Europe.
The
Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein,
The Mummy,
Hunchback of Notre Dame,
The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera.
classic films. They're just brilliantly made.
That Frankenstein image, flathead, old, it's one of the great icons of the world. That to me was like the essence of the universal horror film.
I was just mesmerized by it. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney.
I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie really scaring me.
They still ring in our memories now, and we love them.
That is Bela Lugosi playing Dracula back in 1930. And those Little Europe sets are just facades. We can't actually go inside to film. But right now we're going to Soundstage 50. Take a look at how a soundstage can be set up. This was in an episode of Bone starring David Boreanaz and Emily Deschanel.
Look, they're sweets.
He looks very upset.
When I talked to him, said the guy died in his arms.
That's with the FBI?
FBI, yeah, we're here about the human remains.
That's him. Right over there.
Right.
This is currently set up like a San Francisco subway station, but it could be any city. We need a subway. London, France. We just changed some of the set decorations and the language on the signs. You see lots of equipment over to your left, lights, cameras. This is what we call a hot set. That means everything is set up and ready for filming as soon as the director calls action. We wouldn't want to move anything on this set. Whoa. Really shook me up. I'm still having heart palpitations. The only thing that really calms me down is a trip to the beach. I know it's a little cool out, but we can just dip our toes and, oh, wonderful. We got Amity Island coming up. You're gonna love it. It's a beautiful, small New England town terrorized by a lovely man-eating great white shark and Steven Spielberg's Jaws. Now we know what you're thinking. Danger, right? But don't worry, they caught the great white shark. It's hanging over there to your right-hand side. And we have Officer George in the water right now doing a final sweep of the harbor, so we'll be able to take a dip and calm our nerves as Jeff is arriving. How you doing, Officer George? Feeling good? I know you're a little worried. All right. I think there's something else out there. Hey, George, I think they caught the wrong shark. Swim, man. Use your floating flippers. Get out of there, it's well, George had a lot of guts to be out there, and there they are. All right, everyone, please remain seated. We should be safe here on this tram route. We're just going to hide behind these flammable gasoline containers. We'll be fine. Oh dear, the shark's taking the entire pier. Why do I need a bigger tram? This car keeps getting more and more terrifying. We just met Bruce, a replica of the mechanical shark used in Steven Spielberg's 1975 classic thriller, Jaws. Bruce was named after Steven Spielberg's attorney. Must have been ferocious in the courtroom. And Bruce is much a terror off-screen as well as on-screen. He sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Martha's Vineyard the very first day of shooting, causing the production to go 100 days over schedule and it tripled its budget. Here's the cast and crew to tell you a little bit more.
Wherever you were on the island, you were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark.
The shark worked well enough for a while there at the base of the so I really owe the shark a lot.
That is Steven Spielberg and Bruce the Shark on the set of Jaws. That's a nice harbor town, Amity Island, nice and safe. But where would you put the chickens if you needed the chickens? Well, it's a bit dark out, but we have our chicken ranch over to your right-hand side. This is what it looks like. Built in the 1980s for Dolly Parton Burt Reynolds movie. Has been seen in episodes of Ghost Whisperer and Desperate Housewives. Now, speaking of those housewives, the most talked about street on television, Wisteria Lane, is off to your left-hand side. We'll see some of those houses lit up. ABC's Desperate Housewives, filmed there for multiple seasons. And, oh, that's a nice car. Was that a 1970 Dodge Charger? Used to know a guy with that car, Dominic. Dom Toretto. Brings me back. Now, one of those housewives might own that car. Just want to check in with those housewives.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
On the same neighborhood that Desperate Housewives filmed, Tom Hanks was also there in The Burbs. Christina Ricci was there in Casper. It was a town of friendship. And Nellie filmed a music video there. All in our Colonial Street, which is also Wisteria Lane. Now those houses, nothing out of the ordinary there. But sometimes filmmakers have to build a set a little more imaginative. And that is the case in the town of Whoville from Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
You're as cuddly as a cactus, and as charming as an eel, Mr.
Director Ron Howard used 11 of our sound stages to film The Grinch, starring Jim Carrey, and over 2 million linear feet of styrofoam. He also used 1,938 candy canes. Yes, that stuff was pepperminty fresh. Now you might be wondering where all those who's are. Well, out here in the back lot, they live next door to a real psycho. We are rolling up to the Bates Motel and the Psycho House in the distance. Anyone feel like taking a break? Maybe grabbing a shower? We might have some vacancies. Oh, I see Norman Bates staring out at us from that first room. Best to check out early. Sir Alfred Hitchcock directed Psycho in 1960, starring Anthony Perkins and Janet Leigh. It is the first U.S. film to ever show a flushing toilet. So well done, Sir Hitchcock. We have the Psycho House over to your left-hand side. Watch out for Mother. And as we round the Psycho House, I will take you to the spectacular crash site of Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. This is an actual 747 Boeing aircraft weighing in at 375,000 pounds. It was destroyed specifically for this film, and it's where Tom Cruise's character hides out.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision of Steven.
You sit down to talk about War of the World. I thought, what if the 747 was on right in the big deal? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good.
Robbie, get in. Get in.
This is one of the largest sets ever created. Nicki Minaj was out here filming her music video Fly, featuring Rihanna. It was also used for many commercials for Allstate Insurance, showing the necessity of having homeowners insurance. I sure hope those homes have them. And as we loop around this corner, you see a large wall in the background. It's actually blue, but in the dark, it looks black. That is our Falls Lake. We place actors in front of that large wall, then we can insert whatever background is needed in post-production using CGI, computer-generated imagery. Tom Hanks was out there with, in fact, a plane, an intact plane, for Sully, directed by Clint Eastwood. The cabin you see in front of us is the cabin from The Great Outdoors, starring John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. And if we're filming something in that cabin, we can insert whatever background we need because of that big blue screen out in the background. Our Falls Lake comes complete with a basin, which we can film with water or sand. Place the actors in front of there or a plane in front, and then we can insert whatever we need for the background. Here's Sully.
Evacuate.
They have the plane right out there, over to your right, past those trees. You have the actors all standing on the wings. And then where you see the New York skyline and the rest of the Hudson River, that is just a big blue screen wall. And then they inserted that all in post-production, so the actors really had to pretend, well, first that they were cold out here. It's not always that cold in Southern California. Just seeing that plane and the water makes me feel like our tram might need a little bit of a tune-up. So we're just gonna, take a little bit of a detour into Sullivan's Truck Repair. I know some of the best mechanics around. Just want to make sure, the tires have air and everything's running according to plan. So I just want to check in with my